We live in a time where we could get amazing looking motorcycles for a really cheap price. Take a look at this 2007 GSX-R600. Looks good, right?
Yeah.
You can get one right now for around $4,000. Cheap, right?
Yeah.
And best of all, they are very reliable, right?
Yeah.
But there's one problem. Yep, insurance companies expect me to pay 8,000 Canadian dollars a year for a $4,000 motorcycle. Now, the problem that we have with these fast, cool looking motorcycles is the fact that a lot of younger people tend to crash them, and that kinda scares a lot of insurance companies. In most cases, they don't want to deal with anyone younger than 25, and if they do, they will give the most ridiculous rates to scare you off. But, you know, have no fear, because in 2019, a lot of cool looking motorcycles that are good on insurance are here. At number 1, we got Honda CBR 650R. Now, for 2019, Honda did an amazing job designing this bike. I was pretty disappointed with Hondas in the last couple of years, but it seems that they're getting back on track, producing a lot of cool motorcycles. The cool thing about this bike is that it runs an inline 4, which has that crotch rockety sound, if you know what I mean. It has about 95 horsepower, the most amazing looking headlights out of any bike, and things like ABS, traction control, and that dank slipper clutch. Although still really heavy at 456 pounds for my liking, the looks and the decent power output really makes this bike one of a kind in 2019. In most cases, if you go for a naked alternative like CB650R, you'll get even a lower rate in my experience. Plus, if you prefer retro looking motorcycles, maybe CB650R is a good choice for you. Now, if you're not looking for a sport bike, take a look at an SV650. Compared to the CBR 650R, it is way cheaper, coming in at only $7,099. And with that price drop, you're losing around 20 horsepower, cool electronics, and athletic looks. But all the losses aside, in the end you get that Suzuki V-twin engine. In my experience, it is one of the smoothest revving engines in its class. This means that this specific motorcycle will be well suited for beginner riders. A good way to understand all of this is to look at a bike's power curve. In the case of the SV650, it goes something like this, while something like an MT-07, which kinda goes something like this. Now, this bike does also offer clutch throttle assist, which essentially adds a bit more throttle when the clutch is released. In my opinion, it's just some gimmick to make their bikes sound a little bit more special than they really are. And if you think that 70 horsepower is not enough to have fun, we actually conducted a top speed test at a Turbo Twinkie closed racetrack over in Mexico. We got surprising results, with the bike achieving 216 kilometers an hour as its top speed and low 3 seconds in the 0 to 60 acceleration. At number 3, we have something that is not for everyone, but if you got the cash and don't mind spending $10,500, KTM Duke 790 will give you the most power, the best electronics, and a premium finish everyone desires. Since this is a European motorcycle, expect to have much higher maintenance costs, especially if you do not do any of the work yourself. And a quick note, if you're taller than 5'11 or 180 centimeters, this bike may or may not look like a toy under your legs. Well, at least that's how I felt. But all of my dislikes aside, on paper and in real world, this bike is truly the next step in the right direction, producing a little over 100 horsepower with that amazing sounding twin cylinder engine, and when paired with that up and down quick shifter, it is guaranteed that you'll have the most fun out of the box when comparing it to the previous bikes we've mentioned. So we still haven't talked about Kawasaki. If you opt for the Ninja 650, you'll be a very happy person. Why, you may ask? Well, all 3 bikes, including the Ninja 400, Ninja 650, and the ZX-R, look almost identical with the naked eye when it comes to regular people. In most cases, most of the public will think you're riding a super sport, when you're really not. For a bike starting at $7,399, you're just getting a good solid bike and some fairings. In my opinion, there's just nothing really outstanding or special about it. It has the lowest power output out of all the bikes in this list and the most bland sounding engine. But for that price, you will likely get the lowest insurance rate out of any 650cc class motorcycle, especially if you opt for a naked version being the Z650. Honestly, if you love the looks and don't care about the power output, take a look at a Ninja 650. It may well be your dream bike. Lastly, we have a motorcycle that has only 73 horsepower, but yet can power wheelie in 3rd gear. A bike that you can get used for under 5 grand, and a bike that sounds just as good, if not better, than the Duke 790. And that bike is the MT-07. Of course, Yamaha for that price had to cut some corners. You won't get any fancy paint or traction control, or a slipper clutch for that matter. No fancy brakes either. It's a bare bones bike. If you like the idea of riding a raw hooligan bike that has a lot of aftermarket parts available, this might be the right choice for you. Thank you so much for watching this video. Many other videos are coming out soon, and we'll see you in the next one.